Hey everyone, this is the general reading for Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of March 2019. I am so glad that we are almost done. I've had a lot of technical difficulties. I did save the best for last. I do apologize. It actually did take a little bit longer than I had anticipated. I did kind of peak on the other readers I like to follow, and it seems like everyone is a little bit behind right now. We're actually doing pretty good, I hate to say. So it seems like Mercury retrograde is definitely on its way. We are in that pre-shadow phase right now, so just something to be mindful of. I do apologize if I am stumbling over my words. I've just been speaking so much today. But I am just praying for clear messages and guidance for you. And yeah, I am just going to disclaim with this reading that this is a general reading, so obviously not all of the messages that are coming through are going to apply to you. I personally like to view these kind of like watching a movie or reading a novel. Not all of the characters, plot lines, or themes are going to fit with your life. Some are going to resonate, some won't, and that's totally fine. Sometimes some of these messages will come in the reverse. Sometimes these messages won't even be for you at all. They'll just be for someone close in your life. So just keep an open mind with that. You are also welcome to check out your other signs, your moon, rising, or Venus. You can check those in the playlist I have made for this month and kind of see or kind of get an overall picture, a general picture of what's going to be happening for you in March. Without further ado, let's dive right in. I was meditating on your energy and I was clearing the deck for you guys. And it seems like I was getting a headache, for one. I wonder if you guys are getting headaches right now. I did get a few cards that came out. I got the King of Swords, the Ace of Cups in reverse, the Tower, Five of Swords, and Four of Wands in reverse. So that's a lot of cards to have come out. I wasn't really trying to have anything come out. It just, a lot of messages were coming through. And that's telling me right away, I feel like some of you may have had a falling out with an air sign, so that could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I do see that there may have been some sort of offer for vulnerability or some sort of commitment, either by you or by them, that wasn't reciprocated. This person could have been a bit cutting with their words. They could have been a bit sharp with you. And yeah, it doesn't feel like it went very well. Obviously, you do have that tower as well, so there is a tower moment for a lot of you that's happening. A lot of breakdowns, a lot of change that's going to be coming ahead. That's not so surprising. We did have an eclipse in your sign a couple months ago, so there is still a lot of changes that are going to be taking place in the next few months within this eclipse cycle. So I think it's 6 months. You have a lot of change ahead of you, and it is ultimately going to be for the better. The tower is never going to fall when things are going well. It means that things that were founded on false foundations are finally crumbling, and you are now walking away with that Five of Swords. You might feel a bit defeated. You might feel a bit hurt and like you're walking away with your tail between your legs, but I think it's ultimately for your betterment. With that Four of Wands in reverse, that could be the collapse of a marriage or the falling apart of a home, are two big cards that come with that. Something that you had once celebrated, something that you had once felt very settled in, has now crumbled. And that's hard. That is heavy energy. You did actually have the Phoenix card that fell out for you from the animal deck as well. So again, we have the root chakra influences. We have the home, security, jobs, things like that. There's a lot of very big changes to your daily life that are happening right now. And it's all for the sake of your transformation. You're overcoming the past. You're becoming reborn. But I feel like right now, more of you are still kind of in this tower energy where things are falling apart. But it's important to remember that it is leading you somewhere else, somewhere better. And I do see that you're taking flight. Your reading last month was a lot about you stepping into your power. And I think now that you have done that, the rest of your life that is no longer a match to you is falling away. We do, with this Mercury retrograde, you will be having Mercury sextiling Saturn, which is your ruling planet, and it's actually currently in your sign as well. So a lot of you are going to be having some big breakthroughs. There might be a lot of confusion at first, and there might be a lot to decipher from dreams or from the subconscious, but I actually see that a lot of you are going to be having some big breakthroughs this month as well. There may be some sort of new approach with work, or the way that you're attaining status, or something. Some way that you're showing up in the world is really going to change in a big way, and that I'm very excited for you. That is also that Mercury is also conjunct with Neptune, which means, again, there's a lot of confusion, but there's also a lot of dreams. There's a lot of spiritual and psychic energy coming your way. So just something to be mindful of. I mean, with the Saturn in your sign, a lot of you are also feeling that Saturn influence. A lot of you are being kicked in, trying to get to work. It's like, it's time to work. It's time to do the thing. And I think you're really starting to feel that, and that might be why things are falling apart right now. Even though that doesn't make sense in this moment, it's supposed to be propelling you forward. So that's just kind of it for the pre-energy read. Again, not all of this is going to apply to everyone, but it seemed like that was there's a lot of weight for this collective, I have to be honest. I mean, to be totally honest, all of these readings have been super heavy, and that's also been part of why it's just taken so long. I feel exhausted from doing all of this reading and just tuning into all of these different energies, so I do really appreciate your patience with me on that front. But I see that you really are going through a big transformation, and it seems good, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be without hardship. So we already have 3 cards that came out for you. We have the 7 of Cups, the Tower again, and the 9 of Wands. So with the 7 of Cups, I think a lot of you right now are really brainstorming and trying to figure out what it is that you need to be doing next, or that's kind of how you were coming into the month of March. You were thinking of new options or new ideas for you to explore. You were kind of in a mental state. You weren't being very active in a physical way, even though this is kind of this isn't the physical position for you. It seems like you were a bit passive. You were a bit more in the planning stages for things. And then you had a Tower moment, or several. You had a lot of things falling apart. There was a lot of struggle, I have to say, and I definitely think you're still feeling that psychologically with this 9 of Wands. You're feeling very beat up, very exhausted, very tired, and that's just coming into March. I think you might be... I don't actually feel like a lot of this was resolved. I do feel like for the majority of you, this is still influence that is going to be felt at the beginning of March. It seems like this Tower moment is still pretty fresh for a lot of you, so I'm not expecting you to get out of it. And, you know, with this Mercury retrograde, we also have to keep in mind that things are going to be falling apart all over the place. But it seems like that's really applying to you in a big way. This could also indicate something to do with a Mars or a Scorpio who you really care about. This is in your heart position as well. And I think the Tower is, while it may be manifesting externally, I feel like you're also kind of coming down. Your own walls are coming down, and that can feel really scary. But I do think, even though you feel beat up, you've seen worse. You know, this is someone who has gone through a lot of trials, and you have come through the other side. So psychologically, I think your thoughts are still together. You're still keeping your mind together. At least that's how you were coming into March. This is how you were kind of in February. I'm curious to see what animal is going to be coming out amidst all of these changes, amidst all of these new possibilities for you. That's too many. Let's try again. What is the animal message for the past for Capricorn? What is the animal wisdom for the past? There we go. Again, we got Panther and we got Eagle. So these are 2 cards that are very much like tower moments to me, especially the Panther, not so much the Eagle. But with Panther, this is a very maternal force. We have to understand this first about Panther, because this presence often comes into our lives and pounces on things and will devastate us in very what seems like surprising ways. But I think if we're being totally honest with ourselves, we know that these changes have been coming for some time. Panther has been watching you from the shadows. It's been watching the ways you haven't been fulfilling your life purpose. It's been watching the way that you haven't been in alignment and kind of the toxic dynamics that you've been in. And now it's coming out and pouncing, or it already appeared and pounced on you. And it's not because the universe is punishing you. It's not that Panther is punishing you. It's that Panther is seeing that something is preventing you from your growth, and it will stop at nothing to help you see you shine, even if that means destroying things that you are attached to in that moment. And I see that some of you may be getting rid of things that are unnecessary. Some of you may be getting rid of physical objects. That could also be relationships, especially if you're involved with an Aries or a Scorpio. Sorry to say, but it does seem like this is for the best, and you just have to trust that. And the Eagle is very much about diving into the unknown. It's very much about embarking on a new adventure, not knowing everything that's going to happen to you, just this free fall. And it can be a really scary thing, especially for an earth sign, to just throw yourself into the unknown. But that's really what's been happening. That's what's being asked of you. And again, you are stronger than you think with this card. You have a lot of strength and a lot of support from the other side. Even if it doesn't feel like it, even if it feels like everything is falling apart, I promise you, you have the strength to make it through. You have been through worse. You are a strong person. You're a motherfucking Capricorn, okay? You're a tough sign. And I think Capricorn is truly one of the signs that when you try and douse it, when you try to crush it, they rise above. They shine brighter. And that is so much of what is happening right now. You actually thrive when everyone else is falling apart. And you definitely feel like you're falling apart in February and coming into March. But I promise you, you are a very strong person. That's just coming up very, very clearly to me. I am curious to see what March is holding for you. I hope there is some reprieve. I'm not necessarily expecting it, to be honest, but we'll see what the cards have to say. What are the messages for Capricorn coming into March? What are the messages for Capricorn coming into March? One more. That's too many. Great. Alrighty, let's take a peek here. Very interesting. So you have this Two of Cups, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. You know, I think because of all of the shifts that are happening right now, you're going to be really resisting this Two of Cups. You may be like, this is not going to happen. But there is actually a very real potential that there is going to be a love connection, or there's going to be this fostering of intimacy for you in some way. And it's almost like it's a very fulfilling connection. It's a very beautiful connection, whatever this is. I feel like this is someone you're close with, someone you may live with or work with. This is someone who's very much a part of your daily life, or wants to be a part of your daily life. They really want to be close with you. It could be an air sign. It could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I think this is also a Virgo card as well. It seems like you're really going to be fostering a close connection to this person, whoever it is. I have to say, though, because this is also in the mental and communicative position for you, I'm getting the sense that some of you are going to still be very guarded towards this connection. You're going to be very guarded towards these blessings that are coming through because of all the changes that are happening. But it's like, it's not surprising, though. If you really think about it, it's like, in order to make room for this beautiful new life, which is what the Ten of Cups is all about. It's like the happy ending. It's what you really want. And that's really where your heart is going to be. That's where your heart is going to be at the start of March. It's going to be really focused on what it is that you truly want. What is it that's going to make you fulfilled? You have so many options available to you right now, and you've been thinking about this already. And I think there's going to be something that just really speaks to your heart, something really beautiful. And I see you being a bit guarded with it. You're going to be kind of blocking yourself psychologically from really feeling this fully. But I think it's important to trust in this communication. You know, this is someone who is honest in their communication. They're not always sweet and soft, but they mean what they say. And this could also just be you kind of stepping into your own power and just taking control and making decisions for yourself. I think that's going to be a very big part of March as well, but I have to admit, it seems like some of you are feeling very guarded to whatever this joy is. You're afraid of joy right now, and I think you can have it. Your whole life is clearing. It's setting the stage for you to have this. Do you hear me? Okay. I'm very, very curious to see. I actually want to see what this Two of Cups is. I'm excited for you. What is this Two of Cups for Capricorn? There we go. Six of Wands. So to me, this is telling me that a situation that you had thought was hopeless is actually going to be potentially making a turnaround. You might have felt defeated from something. I actually do see that there is a potential to reconcile with this person. It could potentially be a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. I'm not getting that too strongly, however, or it could be with an air sign. But I think it's more just, it might be you really recommitting to the things that make you feel your sense of purpose. Some of you may have kind of abandoned some sort of cause or something that really filled you with joy and really made you feel triumphant. I do see that that's coming back for you as well. So I think it's important for you to really reconnect in that way to the things that fill you up and give back to you, that fill up your cups, so to speak. Because you're getting a lot of cups. You're making space in your cups. You've poured out all of your cups with all of this change in the past, and now you're getting a new chance to start over. Interesting. So I do have this Nightingale card. Right away, this is something to do with speaking your truth, with expressing your emotions. It could be creatively, especially lyrically, so musically or poetry. Could be really important for you stepping into March. I think it's just also really important for you to speak from your heart, to sing out your desires. Don't be this Queen of Swords too much. Don't be so guarded. I mean, say what you mean. That's cool. Definitely do that. But also speak from the heart. Don't be afraid to get vulnerable. Pisces season is all about vulnerability. It's all about getting into that ugly authenticity sort of feeling. Like that feeling, it almost feels gross just to get into that to yourself, much less to share that with another person. But I do think that's going to be really important to you. And I think if you make the commitment to communicate authentically, you'll definitely be able to do it at the beginning of March. So this is looking actually pretty good. I feel like you've done a lot of clearing and the stage is being set for you in a very big way, but it seems like there's a lot of positivity coming if you're open to it. Of course, right as I say that, you get the Two of Swords that fell out. So again, you're still feeling guarded about this towards the end of March, potentially even into April, maybe even when Mercury goes direct. It might be something that you're still working on. I think you're really trying to lower your guard. You're afraid to make a decision too quickly. You're afraid to act too emotionally or too spontaneously. But, you know, it's interesting. I see you... This is kind of how you're presenting to the world right now. You're kind of presenting a bit guarded, a bit closed off. But I do see that you are in touch with your emotions. You still have all this water behind you, so I feel like you're definitely feeling things very strongly, but you're kind of putting up this neutral front. There is also the moon here behind you as well, so you're definitely feeling those emotional influences, but I think you're just trying not to be swayed by it. It's like, I'm not going to yield to this emotion, and that might be a game that you're playing for quite a while with yourself, Capricorn. Um, that's kind of, I mean, it makes sense for your sign, but it's kind of funny. It doesn't seem bad, but let's pull a couple more cards here. Beating a dead horse at this point, we do have the King of Swords in reverse. So again, this is you being pretty cut off with communication. Someone may say some harsh or hurtful words to you. It could, especially if this person is an air sign, so a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I do see you're almost trying to overanalyze things. You're almost being too mental with your emotions. You're trying to think your way into a feeling, and that's just not how emotions work. I think, yeah, your thoughts can definitely have an influence over the way you're feeling, but why are you I think the fuel behind those thoughts is the emotion. It's an interplay, and it's going to be I see that there's a very real need for you to connect to your emotions, and that's still maybe a struggle for some of you. That's still a lesson you're learning. We do have this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and that is kind of in the mental and communication aspect of your chart. Some of you are moving away from a place that felt very comfortable. You're moving out of a very comfortable space, and you're going to be moving in towards something else. I will also say that this is sometimes a card that is associated with, kind of being single, being a bachelorette, and with this card in reverse, that can be moving out of the single lifestyle. You may be putting yourself out there. You may be dating again by the end of March or towards April. You're just opening your heart to new things. It seems like that's really that's a huge part of this reading, is just being open to the new things that are coming in, the new blessings. It's hard for you to play that game because I think you've just been so wounded in the past. You don't trust these beautiful new things to come forward, but it seems like there's just so much potential. This is literally at the heart of your reading, this Ten of Cups. So there is happiness there for you, I promise. Even if things feel like they're falling apart, I do see that I do see that this is really possible. And I know it doesn't feel like that right now. I know a lot of you are watching this and you're just like, this can't be for me. Be open to it. I think that's really the most important thing. Be open to joy. It is coming. Don't guard your heart forever. It's fine to guard your heart for a little while, to play hard to get, but be open. You have Crow as your final animal, as the final card for this reading. So again, a lot of you may be getting some breakthroughs. You may be getting visions and dreams. You may be having some sort of prophetic vision of the future. And things might be becoming very clear towards the end of March. You may be working with your psychic and intuitive abilities a lot more. I also see that, again, there is this need to kind of speak your truth. Crow is a lot about being a messenger, speaking your truth. I also see you needing to connect with your murder of crows. This has been coming up a lot. You need to connect with the people who make you feel good, who uplift you, and who aren't going to shun you for the way you are, who aren't going to shun you for your darkness and for your mystery. They actually cultivate your magic, and they work with you on that. I see that just as so, so important for you. Wow, this is actually a really beautiful card. Crow is actually a pretty good omen. And I see some of you may be receiving messages from the other side as well. That is also a possibility. It seems like there's a lot of messages. There's a lot of air. There's a lot of communication that needs to be happening. So don't block that. Even though it is a Mercury retrograde, even though there's going to be misunderstandings and miscommunications, you kind of just have to talk your way through it. We can't turn our lives off just because Mercury goes retrograde every few months. Unfortunately, we just don't live in the society where we're able to honor those natural cycles. We kind of just have to do the best we can with what we got. And honestly, Capricorn, I'm seeing that there is a lot of beautiful potential for you. This is finding the family you always wanted, finding that wish fulfillment, finding those greener pastures. You're still standing in this wasteland or this soil, but right in front of you, if you turn around, you'll see everything you ever wanted. And I really do believe that. That's just coming in very strongly. You actually had one of the most positive readings for March. So congratulations on that. Um, and that's not to say it's not without heaviness. You're definitely coming out of a lot of heaviness, and I think you're definitely still feeling guarded from all of that. But be open. I want you to really challenge yourself. A message that's coming through is challenge yourself. Challenge what you think was a loss and see that where, I'm sorry, what you may have thought was a loss is actually a gift. It is a blessing. And it seems like that may be coming through very strongly. That is all that I am getting for you, Capricorn. I do hope this was helpful and resonated. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Definitely let me know what's going on in the comments down below. It seems like there's some big changes, but there's just so much beauty coming your way. I really hope that this comes sooner. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't come right away either, because Mercury retrograde does screw up the time frame for these things quite a bit. But I do see it's coming eventually. So just have faith. Just keep going forward. You're in a really good space. All right, Capricorn. I will see you next time. Bye.